Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have y'all here today. Today's video is going to be a little different. We're going to be talking about how you can utilize wood chips on your homestead and how we think that wood chips are a must-have on the homestead. So Andy's going to be doing all the talking today. I'm going to let him tell y'all about that because this is his forte, show you some equipment that we've got and different things, some investments we've made over the years. So anyways, if you're new to the channel, my name is Megan. That's my husband Andy, my kids in the background. We live on about 18 acres in the foothills of North Carolina, grow about 80% of our own food, and try to be as self-sustainable as possible. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and want to learn how to do it, or if you're already doing it and just like following this kind of stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you in the family.
All right, y'all. So like most of y'all, we probably use a lot of wood chips in your gardens, as animal bedding, whatever. Wood chips come in handy. I mean, I don't care. I feel like there's 1,000 uses for wood chips. You know, we use them in compost. We use them for mulching around our trees and stuff. We use them for everything. So today, what we just wanted to talk about is a lot of times people ask me, what would be my #1 attachment for a tractor? Well, it probably wouldn't be a wood chipper, but this would be really high on the list. I'd say a #1 attachment would probably be a brush cutter or some type of box blade or something like that. But that's a different topic. But a wood chipper would be high on my list if you've got a small piece of property or any size piece of property where you've got woods, you're constantly maybe cutting trees, cutting firewood, you got all those limbs that you can't do nothing with, but pile them up and maybe burn them, or pile them up and just let them go back and rot back in the edge of the woods or something. So last year, I guess it was, we made the investment and bought a wood chipper. Now we still get a lot of wood chips brought to us by different tree companies and whatever, because we simply just don't have the time to make the amount of wood chips we use.
Now, if you live in rural America, you know, when they clean out the power lines, as long as they're close,
that's right,
they'll bring them to you.
Yep, as long as they're chipping power lines close to you or whatever, you got to be close to them, to whoever's doing the work. But they will bring them to you and they'll dump them wherever. As long as they can get those trucks in there, they'll dump them. But anyways, this is our wood chipper. Now, it is by no means a massive wood chipper, but it chips limbs and stuff and does brush just great. And what's left of our wood chip pile back here, this is actually some that was delivered to us by another tree company. But we're going to be making some wood chips of our own. We cut down a tree down here earlier this morning, and I just wanted to take what's left of the brush and turn it into wood chips. Like I say, we turn it into something usable. Instead of piling this stuff up and burning it, now take for granted, this takes some time to do. You don't get it done like that. But, you know, it's free. It's here. Like I said, the investment, we already had a tractor. So, you know, obviously if you didn't already have a tractor, you'd have to have more of an investment into it. But we bought the wood chipper. We got what we thought was probably one of the better ones that you could buy. And, it has been a really good investment because it's one of those things where when you don't need it, you don't need it, so it just sits. But when you do need it, you can use that to turn into wood chips, which then you can turn into animal bedding, compost, mulch, you name it. There's just an endless amount of opportunity for wood chips.
You can make it into some kind of chicken coop floor.
Yep.
That's right.
We use it in the bed of our chicken coop. So that's another way we make compost over here. I think she's made a video on that earlier. But we layer the wood chips in the bottom of the chicken coop, and we let them do their thing on top of the wood chips and constantly keep new wood chips on top. And down underneath, all that starts to rot out and turn into compost. It's excellent stuff.
It's the best smelling stuff you ever smelled.
It smells so good. You would think it would stink, but it don't. It smells good. But anyways, before we get started with the chipping here, I want to go over a few things that actually I learned when we bought the wood chipper that I had only used like the big wood chippers that tree companies and stuff use. Now those are beast compared to this. This thing does good, but those things will just eat whatever you throw into them. With this wood chipper here, when you chip in a load of brush, you're not going to just throw, say, this piece in there with all these little limbs coming off of it. As you can see, stick around here, maybe. Like all that right there, that right there will hang up on the rollers in there and it won't pull it in. So you've got to have something handy as you're chipping brush to just saw those little limbs off, and you put those in there individually. So typically when I'm doing my wood chipping, I really like to use an electric chainsaw, something like this, because you're not out here constantly pulling a rope. You just, you know, and you do it. But a company reached out to me and wanted to know if I would review their product. They'd send it to me to review. And I said,
like that thing.
I really do too. Now I will say, first and foremost, this is a Chinese company. It is not an American-made company. However, I think most of the products you find like this are probably going to be Chinese anyways. I mean, everybody uses Chinese stuff in their houses. We all know it. But anyways, I said, sure, you know, now they're not paying us to tell you what we think about this. They simply sent us the product and told us to review it. So if this thing's junk, I can tell you, it don't matter. I'm not out anything, I'm not losing nothing, whatever. So far we've used it, I've run one battery dead with it, and we really liked it. I mean, it seems like a pretty handy little saw, and the battery lasted for a while in it. So it's called the Saker. It's a 20 volt little hand chainsaw. And y'all, the funny thing is, I really thought first glance when I looked at that said China saw, but it says chainsaw. It was just, I don't know, I guess just what I thought it said. But anyways, this thing reminds you of like the steel handheld chainsaws. We actually bought my mom one for Christmas one year, but I think it was Christmas. But anyways,
Yeah, it was.
it don't come with an oiler. You do have to squirt oil on the chain, so I just use a little can like this. Matter of fact, the whole time I've used it, I've only oiled it twice. It doesn't seem to use it up that bad, but we squirt a little bit on the chain here, and I think something like this is going to work real good cutting off these little limbs, because it's just so light. You can just boom 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 right before you stick them in the chipper. But anyways, I want to talk about this saw for a minute. We'll cut a few limbs off here because I already know these have got to come off.
Oh, baby. You cut your arm off.
And for what size it is, it's got pretty good power. It's faster than a handsaw, that's for sure. Look out over there, David. Right here's a good one. I know that one's got to come off. I want to show you something. It's got a safety button right here. I'm a left-handed person, so I'm pretty sure this was made for a right-handed person, because you can just push it right in with your thumb, pull the trigger. I have to, where I'm left-handed, I'm mashing in with my finger and then pulling the trigger, which works just fine, but sometimes it ain't quite as smooth as that. But anyways, I really don't have much complaint about this saw.
I like that because I like it.
Shoot, Jacob even used it the other day. I mean, it's pretty simple. Durability of it, I don't know. Like I say, we just got it. We've run one battery dead in it. We cut up a bunch of little sticks and stuff with it for a campfire we had the other night.
Cut up some of them.
But it works. It works really good so far. Like I said, I don't have much to say bad about it. It's cheap. The combo that they sent us come with a 20 volt battery, one 20 volt battery, the saw, the tool to take the chain off, and I can't remember. I believe that was all that came with it. It's supposed to have chain oil in there with it, but for whatever reason, our kit didn't have that in there. But anyways, all that, and I want to say I looked that link up that they sent me, and it was like 79 bucks. I mean, the steel chainsaw just like this is double that, and I'm pretty sure but it may come with 2 batteries. I don't really know, but I mean, I like it. It's light. It actually fits in your hand good. So like I said, I don't really have nothing bad to say about it, and for that kind of money, it's you know, it's, if you need something like this, it's probably worth the investment. But we'll have a link posted to the chainsaw in the video description. But anyways, we're going to get to chipping some of this wood, and show you how we make our wood chips. Killing the battery on the little handheld saw, but I'm gonna tell you, I cut stuff that was way too big. It says in the instructions no more than I think 3 or 4 inches. Well, I went over that limit just to see what it would do, but it held up just fine. So the little saw done pretty good. I would recommend buying the kit. If you're going to buy it, buy the kit that comes with 2 batteries. But for the money, I think this is a pretty good little saw. Especially keep on your side-by-side or something like that. Cleaning deer trails, cleaning your roads around your place, having a campfire, going camping, anything where you might need a little saw. It beats using a hand saw. But anyways, we saved the best for the last. We're going to put these big chunks in here. They're borderline too big for this chipper, but it just caught a piece. But anyways, we're going to stick these in here and show you what it'll do. So total with all that pile of brush we had right here, what did we spend? Maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes chipping?
Yeah.
We did have an interruption. I'm not sure if you caught that on the time lapse, but when I stuck one of those big chips in there, when it got to the very end, it forced it into the chipper blade and it ended up smoking the belts on the chipper. So that is one thing to be aware of. If you do have one of these, something like that could happen, and you have to take it apart and get it unwedged, and then you can get it on through.
Yeah, it was too big.
But it was too big, and it went in there too fast. But anyways, I really do like the saw. It may not be the best in the world, but like I said, then again, for the money, I think it's a pretty good saw. Let's go over here and look at our wood chip. So one thing I do like about one of these PTO driven chippers versus the chippers like the power companies and stuff have is you get these really nice sized wood chips. These are small, and those will break down a whole lot faster than these will. So I really think they're like a better quality, especially if you're using them as chicken bedding. Like we use these same wood chips for our chicks when we get them.
Only one thing to remember is you don't use cedar chips for chicks.
And keep them dry. So like we'll have a special batch of wood chips that we chip up, it'll be from something dead. And most of the time it's actually out of maybe some sawmill slabs or something like that. But it'll be something that don't have no bark on it and something that's pretty much dried out. And we'll chip those up and we keep them in a separate bin down here in the barn to keep them dry. But anyways, now this was green poplar, so just to be fair, that's one reason she chipped those big pieces that good. If I'd had a piece of oak in that thing, it probably wouldn't have went that well. But anyways, this is pretty much, I mean, you can't tell it here, but that's a pretty good little mound of chips that come from just 20 minutes worth of extra work. And you know, that's something we can use where otherwise we would have threw that back into the woods or burned it or something. So anyways, like we always say, you want to use as much stuff as you can and utilize everything. And this can be thrown back to our garden. We'll let them compost. They'll just lay here probably, and we'll eventually use them for mulch or something like that. But I don't know, that's like I said, there's so many uses, I don't know what we'll be using them for. But anyways, this was just a small little quick trip here with the wood chipper we wanted to show you. I had it hooked up and thought it'd be a good time to show you that and show you the little chainsaw that we got there. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you like watching stuff like this, because this is something different for her channel. So you know, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If not, well, you can let us know that too. But anyways,
and we'll put a link of what kind of wood chipper this is.
Yeah, we can. We'll put a link to that wood chipper in the video
where
too.
he got it from. So
yeah, this is a Woodland Mills WC88 wood chipper. This is the biggest wood chipper that Woodland Mills makes. Now they do make them for smaller tractors and stuff too, but I would recommend when you go to their website or whatever, you actually go on their website and order it. I actually called the company. They're based out of, I want to say they were, if they weren't in Canada, they were somewhere up close to Canada. They was somewhere up in the northern part of the country. But it was shipped here on a big tractor and trailer truck. And so you do have to have something you can unload it with, or at least move it around with. I can't remember. I think they may have unloaded it off the truck, but you had to have a way to like stick some pallet forks or something on there to move it when it was delivered. But like I said, this is the biggest one that they make. But I would recommend, whatever size tractor you got, get the biggest one you can get for that tractor. Because even now, this one is rated at 8-inch. I'm not so sure that it'll chip 8-inch hardwood or not. It does 8-inch poplar just fine. But if you had some oak and stuff in it, it would pull my tractor down really bad. Let's put it that way. So my tractor, if I had a bigger tractor, it probably would do better. But anyways, we'll post a link to that in the video description as well, and along with that electric chainsaw. And anyways, we just wanted to show you real quick. Like I always say, we try to utilize everything, and we try to be as self-sustainable as possible. So the only thing we outsourced right here, obviously the equipment was outsourced, but to do the fuel to run the tractor, everything else come from our land. We're going to give it back to our land eventually in some way, shape, or form.
And diesel fuel right now may be a good investment.
Yeah, I know. At least that's what they say. We actually went and filled up our tanks the other day. Wish I'd have done it sooner before it went up like it has now. But bad thing is it won't last long as much as we run the tractors. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one.